What did you think the first time you saw a Tesla? First time I saw a Tesla, I thought, that is one cool car. And the first time I heard a Tesla, I was amazed because technically speaking, I didn't hear a thing. Those things run about as silent as possible, right? But one thing that I saw on videos that scared me, and most of them were from China, is they would show that once these vehicles had a collision, a lot of times the batteries would explode. And then when fire departments came to put out that fire, a lot of times because of the chemicals involved in the making of the batteries, the fires were darn near impossible to put out. Guys, October 1st of 2025, which was literally just days ago, in Miami, a 24-year-old girl swerved to avoid an accident, and she ended up running into a pole. Now, the battery did not explode. As a matter of fact, if you take a look at the videos, it barely looks like there was a fire at all. But apparently, in addition to the car battery that runs the car itself, there's also a secondary 12-volt battery. This battery apparently runs the stereo, the lights, the door locks, and that's where the trouble lies. You see, the battery, the 12-volt battery, was crushed in the accident. And as soon as it crushed, it actually locked the doors and it made the vehicle inoperable. So for people on the outside of the car that were trying to help the girl, they were unable to rescue her, and she ended up dying in the fire due to the flames. Again, it looks like she probably wasn't burnt. I have a feeling that all the chemical runoff from the batteries as they explode in the fire probably ended up making it where she couldn't breathe. And she literally became a prisoner inside of her vehicle. What hurts my heart about this is probably the same thing that hurts your guys' hearts. It seems like this could have been totally avoided. Believe it or not, Tesla actually has a manual override switch for the door locks. But what's really sad that I heard was that many people that own Teslas don't even really know where their manual override switch is. And even if you did, you can be disoriented in an accident and potentially not even know where it is, even though you already know where it is. I was driving to work once, and the lady right in front of me had a green arrow to turn. So the light turns green, she has the green arrow, she turns, and somebody coming from the side didn't adhere to the red light, and he smashed into her. Now, it wasn't like a 50-mile-per-hour crash. It was probably closer to 15 or 20 miles per hour. But I went to the front of the vehicle of the woman, and I just asked her if she was okay. I kind of tapped on her driver's side window. And she rolls down the car and she goes, "You hit me." And I tried to explain to her that I wasn't involved in an accident with her at all. I was just seeing if she was okay. But just that small mile-per-hour hit shocked and disoriented her, and I have a feeling if she would have had to find some special switch to unlock her doors at that moment, even she would have probably had some troubles. This 24-year-old girl probably experienced the most horrific last 20 or 30 seconds of her life when she realizes she's stuck in this smoke cauldron inferno of a car. Lawsuits have been filed. They've done studies, and when these different batteries on electronic cars end up exploding, or even when they become faulty, apparently they can release large amounts of carbon monoxide amongst other chemicals. I just have a feeling one of these days we're going to have some sort of 12-car pileup involving nothing but electric cars. It's going to be a really sad situation where a lot of people perish when potentially none needed to. I remember when I was younger, do you guys remember this? At one point in this country, they had to make it law that you had to wear your seatbelt. Do you guys remember the click it or ticket? You literally had to beg people to protect themselves and wear a seatbelt. You would never go on a ride at the fair or at an amusement park like Disneyland and dare ride something without a seatbelt. Yet, in this country, when we were kids, a lot of our parents actually hated wearing a seatbelt. To this day, my mother tries to sneak away from wearing a seatbelt, and it's like, you know what? You're just asking for trouble. Seatbelts might be uncomfortable, but that's just another reason to put your shoes on and walk with us and lose some weight. I just weighed myself again, 197.2. It's a little disappointing because I've been doing really good with my exercise and diet, been doing push-ups and sit-ups, the whole 9 yards, right? Not eating after 7 or 7:30. And it just goes to show you, sometimes when you're trying to lose weight, you have to go more based on measurements. So these shorts that I'm wearing have been feeling a little tight, or at least they were. They're actually feeling better now. Also, when you're doing push-ups and sit-ups, I've always been told that muscle weighs more than fat. So I'm not trying to lose weight and disappear. I'm trying to actually gain some muscle in the process. But here's the thing, I'm not discouraged one bit. And if you're an enemy of the scale, don't get discouraged when the scale tells you something that you don't want to hear. Speaking of discouraging, I feel really bad for this 24-year-old's parents. They probably helped her in buying that Tesla. For all we know, that might have been a Christmas gift from her folks, right? How bad would you feel knowing that fire department and fire crew actually got there to rescue your daughter, but she still had no chance? That's got to be sorely disappointing. Even if you sue Tesla for millions of dollars, I'd rather have my 24-year-old daughter, and I'm sure they would too. So my thoughts and prayers go out to them. Speaking of thoughts and prayers, you guys didn't pray hard enough for my ASU Sun Devils. Oh my God. I found out right before the game that their quarterback wasn't even going to play, and it's like, well, there goes the season. It's kind of a bummer. There's so many damn college football teams. If your team loses 2 or 3, it's curtains. There is no chance. Mark, cover your assets, says electronic door latches are ridiculous. Please explain their superiority to mechanical door latches. How about if it ain't broke, don't fix it? This is another one of those situations where even to this day, I always wonder, what's the infatuation with power everything? It seems to me like you should always be able to just grab your latch on your door lock and unlock the vehicle. For them to have a secret button seems ridiculous. Garden Dude 1 says, I've never had to train a passenger on how to open a door in an emergency, and I should never need to. I know what you guys are thinking. Well, if my car was on fire, I would hope somebody would just break the window and rescue me. And that's a great assumption, right? That they should have. The only problem is apparently there's a laminate on the windows of all Teslas. And apparently this lamination makes it damn near impossible to break the window. It's almost like he made it to survive a revolution or something. He made it a literal tank. And it's like, I don't think you need to do that. Just put regular windows on it that the that the fire department and emergency response folks can break to get to you. Here's another question I have for you. Certainly, they've known this for a while, that there's these little bugs in the system. Why aren't they making that the first priority to fix? And if they are, why isn't it fixed already? The first thing they should do is, from this point forward, they should go back to making just regular windows. You know, there's already 1,000,001 cameras on these vehicles. If someone's breaking into your car and they get in and take off in it, I just don't see why the windows have to be darn near bulletproof. That there's no benefit to that. As a matter of fact, this here shows that it's a big negative. Fen Flyer says China is legislating a total ban on all vehicles' electronic door latches. I don't even know why they have to do that. China can just snap their fingers and get it done. Everything they do through the Chinese parliament seems a little goofy to me, because it ultimately boils down to whatever she wants, she gets. Who's she? I don't know. I think it's the president out there, President Xi. But let's say President Xi actually lets different provinces in his country make their own decisions, then maybe this is good. Because if China changes, then all of a sudden their electric cars become the safest cars in the world that are electric. It seems to me like that would force Tesla and other electric vehicle manufacturers to change their ways. Have you guys ever heard about how magically quick airbag systems are? You get in an accident, and I believe in less than like 2/100ths of a second, your airbag deploys, fills with air or whatever it fills with, and then you end up going head first into your head bag rather than the steering wheel column, right? Seems to me like you could set up a similar system where as soon as the car realizes it's been in an accident, maybe the door locks automatically unlock. I think that would be a smart thing to do. But then there's also pitfalls to that. Let's say you get in a fender bender, your car doors unlock. All of a sudden the guy you hit is opening your door ready to beat the shit out of you. Again, this is one of those things where it's like we wouldn't have to worry about that if states and judges were tough on criminals. I'm just saying. Jesse, why are you walking during the day? Guys, it's a beautiful day, but normally I'd be watching football, but your boy has a date. I'm going, I forget the name of the place, it's in Scottsdale, but this is my 4th date with this girl. Christian girl, Jesus freak, really, really nice human being. I told myself, this time I want it to be different. I want to go out with somebody that's an actual decent human being, because what good would I be telling you guys to make good decisions in life, and then I keep going out of my way to make bad decisions? That's the problem with listening to advice from people. Do they practice what they preach? Are they willing to actually, in the fork in the road situation, are they willing to make the right decision? I want all venters to know. Jesse tries to make the right decision. Does he still make the right decision all the time? Of course not. But I'm trying. 123 BVB says, am I missing something? ? Is the glass bulletproof? Yeah, the lamination apparently makes it where it is damn near bulletproof. I do not want to be a rescuer looking at the eyes of a young little 24-year-old something, whether it's a female or a male, and just know that there's nothing you can do to help them. That has got to be the worst. Whew, our emergency responders probably see some really traumatic stuff. I really feel for them. Mort Finkenbean says, just a month ago in Germany, an adult man with 3 children in his Tesla crashed. The Tesla burst into flames. One kid was able to free himself while the others and the dad burned because witnesses on the outside couldn't open the doors. This is happening all around the world. China, Germany, the US, Canada. These accidents are happening. Right now, I believe Tesla and electronic vehicles probably make up about 10% or less of all the cars you see on the road. So if it's only 10% of the cars and it's making all these catastrophic fires, how would we say that in today's world? If 13% of the cars are causing 80% of the fires. All right, that's a bad joke, but you get what I'm saying. They need to fix the electric fire issue. Maybe it's as simple as putting that battery in the back of the car. I don't know. Then if you get rear-ended, you're going to have the same situation. They got to fix it, though. James Bong says, many Tesla windows are laminated, which makes them almost unbreakable. James, I stole your question and I made it a comment during my walk. They need to fix the windows, they need to fix the response of the car, and they need to make that emergency manual override button, they need to make it not so secret. I have a great idea. Why don't you place it right next to the power door windows? That would make the most sense, right? Just make it a button you can push. If the car gets stolen, your cars take video of everything. Your cars are supposed to shut off unless the driver's in there. Figure a way to do this without endangering people's lives. And I wish Tesla would come out and change this immediately, people should press them on it. Speaking of pressing you on it, guys, we're 2 weeks into our 90-day challenge. So we have what, like 10 weeks left. Join me, join us. My goal is to get down to 165 pounds by the end of it, and I'm not gonna stop until I do. And if you need somebody to help give you a pep talk along the way, I'm that guy. So make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you share this video, make sure you hype it, and yeah, start your walking journey with us today. Walking is fun. Is it fun in this heat? Not as fun as I thought it would be, but if you have something planned for the evening, don't just cancel your walk. Take it earlier in the day. Remember, the walk must go on, and people that walk daily, even the chubby ones amongst us, they're actually healthier than those people that aren't walking. So start your walking routine, and we'll worry about the results later. Have a good evening. I'll see you tomorrow.